It's a choice that people have to make in life. But what's so funny about it is even the richest of rich, who have everything, they always ask me this question. I feel like I'm missing something. I don't feel like I'm missing. I don't have what you all have, but you'll never in my life hear me tell you I'm missing something, and everybody is. They're missing this feeling. I found it a long time ago. And I found it right there in that willpower thing.
But people save themselves from that negative emotion, don't go out into the real world, delude themselves into thinking they're at a better place with the fake fix of their need. And then wonder when it gets like too bad, they're still lonely, they're still deprived, they're still fat, but it's like too far gone. You know, in the video game world, you're a dragon slayer. When you watch porn, you've just had 10 different women at once. You don't need to hunt anymore. You've just had every taste of your taste buds fulfilled. When you've had that for so long, it's stepping back into the real world is so difficult.
Yeah, I think it was either Socrates or Seneca, one of them, that said, I pity the person that goes through life without an opponent.
When you're nothing, and change yourself into something like me, you call it happiness, peace, whatever the you want to call it, people are missing exactly what went on with David Goggins. Why don't you smile? I do. But I figured something out. That's why you'll never hear me say I'm missing something. I found it years ago. You find it in the suck. You find it in the suck, and you find it repeatedly in the suck, to the point where you know exactly who you are. Most people are missing something because they don't know who they are.
I was lucky that my job was basically so and my pay was so low that I was able to, hate it so much. But for the other people, the problem is they're saved from the negative emotion with the modern comforts.
I've had the good fortune to become the best version of myself, and that version of me keeps evolving into the higher level of potential that I have, right? My goal is to never peak. It is to continue to evolve, as the Japanese say, kaizen, to keep improving over time. And I've been able to start this international fitness franchise, Fit Body Bootcamp, the Truly Wellness Shot, and become part of Feed Will Hunt, and create all these business partnerships and give back to Shriners Children's Hospital, Toys for Tots, Compassion International, millions of dollars. And all because I had these ideas and I was able to bring them to market and be able to have enough organization and structure and people around me to help launch these things and then learn how to market it and sell it. None of these things were factory installed in me, but I knew that I had the potential.
They never examine themselves. They've never done this experiment on themselves. The lab rat, we're all lab rats, but you're also the scientist. You create your own self. Most people are missing something because there's so much trapped in there. I don't even want to say potential. I think that's a word just used out too much too. There's so much in you that God or whatever the hell you believe in, or if you're an atheist, in you that you have not unlocked. That you walk around with this gorgeous wife or great husband and all this money, and like, God, I feel like I'm missing something. Yeah, because it's about 75% of you is still in there.
Like, everybody thinks they're a loser. Every young person thinks they're a loser. At least a young person in the situation I was at. Like, I didn't know I wasn't a loser until I started winning, until I started doing martial arts. Martial arts taught me that, like, I could get better at stuff, that I wasn't really a loser. I just was someone who was like in a fucked up situation. But you could channel all that energy that you have as a young person into something and get better at it. And then all of a sudden people admired me. I was like, this is crazy. So I went from being someone who was incredibly insecure and basically a failure to someone who was really successful at this one thing that was very dangerous, that other people were scared of. And that gave me immense confidence and also a real understanding of the direct correlation between hard work and success.
Still chained up because you just didn't want to find your willpower. Didn't want to find your soul, your will, your heart, your determination, your guts, your courage. And what that looks like, it looks scary. To wake up every day and say, I'm stupid, but I want to figure out a way to be smarter. Versus saying, man, I just can't do that. So you limit this box. So your box becomes so small of things you can do. My box wasn't even a box. It was a little pinhole. And then through examining myself, getting some willpower, some courage, it became bigger than this table. But that's what we all do. That's why I wanted to come here today and talk to you about real shit. Not no f***ing like hacks. There's no hacks, bro. It's you against you. You against you. And if you misunderstand that, you have a real problem.
You could be rich, man, but you cannot erase the work ethic part. There is no getting around. Ain't no elevator to the top. You got to take the stairs. The elevator don't go to the top, man. Not in the world of success. You gotta take the stairs. Y'all gotta start getting gritty, man.
You know, there comes a day, man. Everyone's gonna have this day. There comes a day where being average, being mediocre is just sickening to you. It's just sickening. It makes you want to throw up. And then the spark is born. And no matter what happens, I'm never gonna be in this boat again. And you get up and you go, even against an opportunity, you just keep going. You're a wild man. And life has never been so sweet. That can happen at an early age. It can happen at a later age. It's gonna happen to somebody no matter what, it's gonna happen to you. And when it does happen to you, thank your lucky stars that finally you're alive. It's time to unwrap the potential you can be.
Human potential can be fostered or it can be absolutely neglected. It's almost like if you're a little acorn, we know that little acorn seed can eventually become an oak tree. But if I just put that acorn seed here on the tabletop, I don't water it, I don't plant it, I don't till the soil, I don't pull the weeds around it that are gonna choke it out otherwise, that little seed's never gonna become a tree. It's just gonna sit there and eventually rot and die.
I get one question a lot. When will I ever be satisfied? I'm very happy, but I'm not satisfied. I've accomplished a lot in my life, and I'm very proud of that. But I won't be, you know what? I run past a cemetery a lot at home. And when I run past a cemetery, it saddens me because there's a lot of people there, not because they're dead, because a lot of untapped potential. A lot of us die never tapping into our full potential. And I often look at wash rags when I'm wringing them out to hang them up as my soul. And I won't be satisfied until every drop of that wash rag, which is my soul, is completely wrung out. So in my life, I won't be satisfied until everything I have in me is completely out of me.
Athletes who turn up to compete, they put a bit more effort in. They try to be the best amongst their group. Then there's the athletes who train to win. They train every day, every session, so that they win on match night. And then there are just those very few players who train to dominate. They train so hard that winning is inevitable on race night.
The whole thing about it is that your mind has the ultimate tactical advantage over you.
Yes.
It knows your insecurities, it knows your fears, it knows your self-doubts, it knows all those creepy spots that we want to stay clear of. So our mind keeps us from those spots. So the whole 40% rule was I was living my whole life kind of going away from those spots that made me very uncomfortable. Because my mind was saying, you're not good here, you're not good there.
More than half the time.
More than half the time. So what happens is when you get in these situations where you need more, it's like a car. A car has a governor. So, some cars have governors on it.
Yeah, right.
Limits it, yeah.
It can go 130, but the governor's set for 92. So you're sitting there trying to race a Corvette. The Corvette flies by, but you're like, God, I wish this governor was off. Our brain has a governor also.
Yeah.
Whenever it gets to those fears, those insecurities, those issues that we haven't dealt with in life, the governor comes on and we can't go past that.
You're not giving your all. I had a lot of different examples of that. I truly had a mom that made sure that I had, and I didn't take advantage or embrace the real work that she put in until I got to an older age of true understanding.
And most people fail those 1 seconds. And then that 1 second leads to 20 years, 30 years, 40 years of. I have people who have been through training with me, Ranger School, SEAL training, Air Force training, and I get calls from them today, and they have great lives. And all they talk about is how they failed in that one moment. And they can't even enjoy their life now because they're now warm. They're now warm. There's no more suffering. There's no more suffering for me either. And we're in the same boat now. But you're suffering, so we're not suffering, but you're thinking about what you could have been. I am exactly what I should have been.
Because it's literally just you versus you. It's you versus yesterday. Beat him. Pause. But beat him. Outbeat your potential. You have a potential, go beat your own potential. And then beat it again, and then again, and again, and see where you're at. Is it going to be hard? Brother, it's going to be so hard.
Imagine you're on your deathbed, and standing around your deathbed are the ghosts representing your unfulfilled potential. The ghost of the ideas you never acted on. The ghost of the talents you didn't use. And they're standing around your bed, angry, disappointed, and upset. They say, we came to you because you could have brought us to life, they say. And now we have to go to the grave together. So I ask you today, how many ghosts are going to be around your bed when your time comes?
Motivation is kindling. So basically what it is I may motivate some people today for this 4 minutes I'm on TV.
Yep.
Oh my God, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Great. But let's say it's real cold out in New York City. Let's say it's 30 degrees. You go outside, you get your gloves on, you go for a 5-mile run.
You're going to forget everything you said.
Everything I said is gone. That's motivation.
So you write about how Rocky motivated you. That movie motivated you, but you had to take it that next step. So how do you do that then?
Well, the thing about it is, it's about being driven almost to the point where you're obsessed. Because when you get to that point of being driven and possibly obsessed, you no longer care if it's 30 degrees outside. Mm-hmm. That wind chill hits your face, you feel it, you might go back inside, but to get more clothes on to go outside. So you have to find that passion, that purpose of your life is different for everybody.
How many hundreds of hours have you put towards something? If you do that, I promise you the thing that you're making will get a lot better. And you'll also see how much more you're capable of, which is what I think, like my undertone of listening to what you were just saying with the podcast is like, the more you do, the more you realize you can do. And so what happens is you're actually, even though you're going pro right now, you're like, dude, next year I'm going pro. Yeah. Because this is now just a minimum standard. Of course I work out 3 days a week. Of course I do 3 podcasts a week. But dude, once we have the reality TV show and we have the full crew and we have the headquarters, like, because then the path gets lit of where you're going to go because you're so singularly focused and you have no other distractions. The attention cost you're not paying that down anymore. And you're just like, how many times can I repeat this effort? And then that's when you start unlocking mastery.
And that's where people start to lose it. Because now I realize that in that 1 second, I go through all that. I know how it's going to feel because I failed so many times before. Failure is the ultimate thing, man. I failed so many times before. That's why I don't look at failure anymore as failure. I look at it as my first, second, and third attempt.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like, maximize your potential. Don't just like do the bare minimum. Don't just do what comes easy. You know what I'm saying? Get better. Maximize yourself. You know, every single day, the goal is to get better 1% every single day. And you do that, you know, like I said, you do that 365 times, you got 365% better. It's over 100%. You know what I'm saying? And you're going to have days when you take a step back. Just like the next day, try and take 2 steps forward. I feel like it also it decreases the pressure too. It doesn't overwhelm you as much because when you think about, you have like a big goal, you want to do something, you can get overwhelmed by like that daunting task. Like, damn, I got to get all this done. But if you break it down to like, nah, baby step, one. You know what I'm saying? You can go 1% every day. All right, let's get 7% better this week. 7%, that's 7 days. Okay, we do it in a month. 7 times 4 weeks, 28. Let's get 28% better. That's the minimum.
Let me use Hell Week. This is a perfect example. Hell Week's 130 hours. And 130 hours is a lot of seconds. A lot of seconds. And if you lose, let's say you win every second but one, you lost. It only takes 1 second for you to lose the whole thing. So the 1 second decision is just that. You're in a situation where life is sucking. Let's say you're in extreme cold water and your life is flashing before your eyes. Every time that wave goes over your head, your thought process is, I gotta get the f out of this water. And you're in Hell Week. And you're hour 1 of 130 hours.
You keep saying tomorrow, but you know deep down, tomorrow never comes. Stop looking for the easy way to do hard things. You won't grow without first stepping where you've never stood. Every step into discomfort pulls you closer to the life you actually want. You face your fears, you adapt, you evolve. That's not danger. That's transformation, pulling you towards your potential. So, if discomfort scares you, then staying the same should freak you the out. Because you've never gotten better when life was easy. Because comfort zones never forge greatness. But the courage to destroy it, that's where your new life begins.
It's all fun and games, okay? Because at the beginning of Hell Week, the guns are going off. It's like a pep rally. So you're hyped up and your boys are linked arms and you're getting sprayed. And it's like a pep rally. The instructors are yelling at you, bombs are going off, concussion grenades, blanks from N60s. Yeah, hoo-yah, yeah, mother, yeah. But then what they do is they shut that off. They shut it off. All that hoo-yah, all that hype gets real quiet. And they march you out to that surf zone for something called surf torture. And it's that water, that Pacific Ocean is cold as
The world will reward you in proportion to your courage, not your intellect. The most dangerous person in the world is the one who continues to show up every day, even when the rewards are not guaranteed. Your potential is determined by the amount of uncertainty you're able to tolerate and how long you can tolerate it for. You can beat 99% of people if you can master the shame of rejection, the boredom of repetition, and the pain of feedback.
So no more pep rally. You're now in your head. You're linked arms with your brothers beside you. You don't know if they're gonna be there long or not. You don't care, you think about yourself. You lay back and that first wave hits you. Your mind goes straight from hour 2 all the way to hour 130. You can't process 5 days of this. You're now in a I gotta get out of here. You're in fight or flight. It's cold, I can't be cold this long. And then this is where that 1 second decision comes in.
I was asked if you could transfer only one trait to your son, what would it be? And I really thought a lot about it. And I was like, all the traits, what would I transfer? And I think it's courage. Because if you don't have courage, nothing else matters. Like you can't take any action. You can't do anything worth doing. You can't stand for anything because you have no courage. And so I think that's why it's so much more preferable to be a failure than a coward. And I think that I would hope that I could transfer just that lesson and try and reinforce as many times as I can in his upbringing that like you have to take jumps and you have to lose and you have to be willing to lose.
You forgot every reason why you wanted to be there. You don't care about SEALs. You don't care about any of this. You don't care about fighting for your country. You don't care about that gaudy gold trident that they put on your chest. You don't care about any of that no more. All you want to do is go back home. You want the warmth. You may want something to eat. You want your girl to hold you. All those things of comfort are there in that 1 second. And this is where people lose. So what I do in that 1 second, because we all think about quitting, it's hard. But what you have to do in that 1 second is hard to process information during pain. Because that pain takes over and you can't think rationally. You're thinking about fight or flight, save yourself. That's not a rational thought.
And then realize that losing doesn't actually make you a loser, because losing is the first signal on the path to winning. But like not playing is the actual signal for a forever loss.
I believe that reaching for our full potential is what we're called to do as human beings.
It's not a thought that's going to get you through hard times. Most people fail that 1 second. So what happens, what I do in that 1 second, and there's a bigger process to all this, but in that 1 second, I physically stayed in that water. Because if I get out of the water, I quit. So I physically stay in the water, but mentally, I'm on the beach with the instructors. And the instructors, it's cold outside, so they got these parkas on. They got their cup of Joe, and they're warm because they've already been through it. So now it's your turn to go through it. So immediately I get back with them. I'm still in the water physically, but mentally I'm back with them. I'm chilling. I got my parka on. And now I'm thinking logically because I'm warm now. Mentally, I'm warm. I've taken that 1 second. Let's not quit yet, Goggins. Let's think about your options.
There's a classic study looking at high achievers across fields. So elite tennis players and swimmers, mathematicians and scientists, musicians and sculptors. And it turns out that very few of them stood out when they were first learning their craft. They didn't win early competitions. They didn't necessarily end up getting identified as having superior talent. And ultimately, they ended up achieving much greater things. And I think their potential was hidden, not only to some of their family members and friends, but also they didn't realize how great they could become.
So if you want to start a business and you think that you're going to get made fun of or snide remarks or like, oh yeah, you're doing your podcast thing again. Oh yeah, don't miss out, right? You know, don't want to miss Friday night, it's your big podcast. You know you're going to suffer that short term. That's a known cost. And then the payoff is delayed and uncertain. Like not only will it come later, if it were guaranteed, if you knew you were going to make $1 million doing a podcast, then you'd be like, whatever. Like it takes significantly less courage.
You see the potential within yourself. Also, what your book does, you walk away from reading it feeling like, there's more in me than I knew. Now, I have a good friend who likes to remind me of how far I have come in life, and I thought of him when I read the first chapter of the book where you say, you can't tell where people will land from where they begin. You can't tell where people will land from where they begin. With the right opportunity and motivation to learn, anyone can build the skills to achieve greater things. Potential is not a matter of where you start, but of how far you travel. We need to focus less on starting points and more on distance travel. When did you learn that lesson for yourself, Adam?
Where are you going to end up if you quit this? Where are you going to go? What are you going to say to yourself? Because you know you're going to get warm. The second you get out of this water, you can take a shower and you're going to be warm. And you could be, and in 5 days you could be out. So I start thinking logically. I calm my brain down because your brain just wants to get out. Ring the bell, put your helmet down, get warm, and then you're really. And these are the things you have to think about the 1 second decision. So that's what that's all about. It's about gaining control of your mind, putting things back in the proper perspective, and then saying, I really do want to be here. And I'm going to have a bunch of these 1 seconds through this 130-hour journey. And I have to learn to control these. Because if I fail one of these 1 seconds, I will not be a SEAL. I will not be a doctor. I will not be a lawyer. I will not be whatever the it is.
I think I probably first learned it when I made a questionable decision to become a springboard diver. So I was not naturally talented. I walked like Frankenstein. I literally couldn't touch my toes without bending my knees. And I was afraid of heights. I showed up to try out for the diving team as a freshman in high school. And I had an incredible coach, Eric Best, who said, I will never cut a diver who wants to be here. And he saw more potential in me than I saw in myself. And I would just sort of sit there at the end of the board shaking, afraid to hurl myself into the air and somersault and twist. I remember one day just sitting at the end of the board and my teammates were getting annoyed and Eric was even losing his patience, which he never did. And finally he said, Adam, are you going to do this dive? And I was like, ever? Like, yes, of course, one day I will do this dive. And he said, great, what are you waiting for?
So that's how important that 1 second decision is. It's all about your mind takes control of you. You have to say, I run this motherfucker. And that's what that's all about.
But I think it's the fact that it is unknown and delayed. So you basically have to be willing to get kicked in the and multiple times and sometimes for extended durations before the hope that you will get something. But I think the only way to get through that kind of kicked in the period for however long it's going to be is realizing that you have two paths. One that is guaranteed, which is that the path you're currently on will not get you where you want to go. And the other path, it is not guaranteed to get you where you want to go, but it's the only one where you have a shot where you do.
And that's where your potential is determined by the amount of uncertainty you're able to tolerate and how long you can tolerate it for.
And I think that also goes to the bigger the games we play, right? That, like, the longer the game you play, the bigger the game you play.
Projecting yourself forward to see what are the consequences of failing, what are the consequences of stopping, is about as powerful of a motivation strategy as I can think of, you know? Because what you're doing is you're trying to optimize right now to stop the discomfort.
That's right.
But what you're going to pay for that in is shame and guilt and regret long term.
That's right.
So what you need to be able to do is bundle all of that up that is as yet unfelt, but will last for way, way, way longer. You know, the future is much longer than now.
That's right.
The future is going to extend out up until the day that you die. And the now is just for now. And even 130 hours is just 130 hours.
That's right.
And you get to look back. And do you look back with pride and glory? Or do you look back with shame and guilt?
That's it.
And so if you want to create rockets that go to the moon, you have to be able to deal with uncertainty for just an absolutely absurd amount of time compared to most humans on any endeavor. I mean, rejection hurts, failing hurts. And I think when you give it your all and then the market, society, the universe, whatever, determines that you are still not enough, that is very painful. I think that in time, you learn that feedback is fuel rather than failure.
I want to be able to look back on my life when I'm all dead and be so proud of myself forever. This is all temporary to me. I want to be forever proud of who I was as a man and change who I used to be. The liar, the insecure guy, the guy who can, whatever. I want to be proud. If I die now, if I die at 80, if I die at 90, 100, I want to look at myself and say, proud of myself.
And once that new association gets paired, I mean, you've had plenty of incredibly successful people on this podcast, and I would say many of them have this same kind of, I would call it lesson, is like, it's not failure, it's feedback, or it's not failure. But it just means that, like, fundamentally they have a different pairing for losing. And so everyone has to go through this because like losing is good. And feeling bad about losing is good because it forces you to change.
I kept on going to that nice cuddly voice in my head saying, you know what? You don't need to do this. That's too much work, man. You've earned this. You deserve this. And that mentality got me to 297 pounds, fat, out of shape. To me, a loser. To me, making $1,000 a month and making a ton of mistakes. Because mistakes happen on the easy side of life. You take the easy road, the easy path, there's a lot of mistakes over there. The hard journey, you don't make too many mistakes over here because it's too hard. You don't want to repeat it.
And that change means that over time, as long as you're changing in the correct direction, you get better.
Or else you would continue to do the strategy that caused you to lose last time and you would just run it back again.
And this is why I have this, like, I thought on the way over here, I was thinking about this. And I think one of the big losses or failures of society right now is that we are trying to castrate the teeth from the pain of loss. We're trying to not allow kids, people, the feeling to feel bad. It's like we have determined that feeling bad is bad, but feeling bad is not bad. Feeling bad is a signal so that we need to change. Because if no one feels bad ever, then it means that everyone is doing what they want to do all the time. And that is not how a functioning society works. Sometimes people do stupid and need to know and feel bad for it.
I see a whole bunch of people walking around out here who have no idea how talented they truly are. Now I'm talking about talent, like some God-given ability. Talent that sometimes you have to hone, you have to work on, you have to harness yourself. And they just walk around on their phones, just clueless to how powerful they are.
Eventually, reality is going to come into contact with your decisions.
Yes.
And the more that that's put off, the less likely you are to come up with a way to avoid that reality coming into reality.
And so the way that, right now what's going, and this is probably the more frightening part about like some of the media that's out there, is like trying to just redefine reality and create a fantasy where you losing and you feeling bad isn't true, but it doesn't change reality. It just changes someone's perception of it for the short term, and then they have to pay reality back with interest and time.
You ever seen a flea? One of the smallest insects, really small, one of the smallest insects. But for his height and size, and flea has the highest vertical leap in nature for an insect. A flea can jump, has a 36-inch vertical. If you capture the flea and you put him in a mayonnaise jar and you put the lid on it, the flea know one thing: I got a 36-inch vertical. So here he go. He start jumping. but he gonna hit himself on that lid. After getting knocked down so many times, the flea makes an adjustment. So now the flea only jumps just to where he don't get knocked back down.